Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here. It's early in the morning, and I'm still feeling very low. There's two things I live and breathe as a geek, as a nerd: Superman and Doctor Who. They are my characters, and I love them, and I've loved them for many, many years. And when someone fucks with them, it's a personal attack on me. Now, yes, this is titled my Doctor Who Season 11 finale review, yeah? But we're not just going to talk about that episode, of course. And I will come back with a few videos about Season 11. Of course I will. We need to talk longer and harder and deeper about this. Because this is not just about arguing with other Doctor Who fans. This is putting it out there, the real crime, the real tragedy of this season. Russell T Davies fought hammer and tong, tooth and nail to bring this show back, and he did. And he gave us something utterly special. And he didn't just bring old fans along for the ride. He brought so many new fans. And it was a beautiful thing. Watching Doctor Who I was proud of it. I was excited for it. I was buzzing for it. And to be very honest with you, at the time, I wasn't in a great position. And it probably kept me from taking my own life. Doctor Who matters. It mattered. Does it still matter? This is, in my opinion, from my point of view, this is the worst season since the show came back in the revival's history. This is the worst finale in the show's history because, in all intents and purposes, this isn't the Doctor's finale. Can you explain to me something? Why has Graham had so much effort put into his character while the Doctor has been ignored? She hasn't been fleshed out. She hasn't been developed. She hasn't been given a personality. She hasn't been made interesting. She's my character. That is a character I've followed for so many years, and he did nothing with her. He is guilty of sexism. Yes, he is. You say, Mick, you're crazy. How can he be guilty of sexism? She wasn't fleshed out because she was a woman. She wasn't developed because she was a woman. She wasn't given stakes because she was a woman. Meanwhile, his male companion was given everything. Development. Every week we hear all the fans going, oh, I love Graham. Why? Because effort was put into his character. Now, don't get carried away here. Graham wasn't the greatest Doctor Who companion we've ever seen. And the development was shoddy. But at least something was put into it. So, Mr. Chibnall, you think you're woke, you think you're clever, but you're not. You're actually a sexist for how you executed this Doctor, this first female Doctor on the screen. And I'm sure when Jodie goes home and when she's alone and she has time to contemplate, she's been stitched up. She's been put up there, put some lipstick on, telling us how beautiful and amazing it is to be the first female Doctor. But after that, it's an empty shell. There's nothing there. There's no point being the first anything in life if it has no depth to it. If you open the barrel and it's empty, there's no point. This finale was exactly that. The only thing I can say, well, there's a couple of things I can say. Again, Akinola's music was fantastic and made the finale anything because it was nothing. Without that music, it would have been absolutely nothing. Graham's struggle to want to kill Tim Shaw was absolutely stunning and absolutely beautiful. And in a way, it's a kind of arc I would have liked to see the Doctor have. Now, the Doctor has this kind of don't kill policy, but wouldn't it be nice, just like in Dalek, when the Doctor wants to kill the Dalek, if we had a similar thing here? But we can't flesh out this Doctor. Sorry, she's a woman. She can't have anything to do. She's just got to smile and be a good little female and do as she's told and be the groundbreaking first female Doctor. And that's that. If I'm offended as a man, how do you think Jodie Whittaker feels? And you as young women should be offended as well because this man has offended your gender. I never wanted a female Doctor. But I tell you what, after she was cast, I was going around telling everyone that these people would give us something special. They have not given us something special. They have given us the very opposite. What can I say about this finale? There's nothing else to say. Graham was good, the Doctor was boring, Yaz was boring, and Ryan was okay. That's that. Tim Shaw was a crap villain. Don't get me wrong, the guy who voiced him did a great job and he sounds menacing, but he has no real motivations. Oh, I'm Tim Shaw. I hate you, Doctor. You sent me to this place for thousands and thousands of years. So? Oh, you killed my wife. Good. Really? You know, we've had a lot of villains in Doctor Who. Can you remember villains being that empty? Oh, I killed someone. Good. That makes me evil. But you've got no reason to be doing what you're doing. Yeah, in the 80s, in classic Who, we had moustache-twirling villains. That was fine because we didn't know any better. But now these writers are so well educated in nuance and depth. And nuance and depth is something we had a very short supply on in season 11 of Doctor Who. So as a fan, I'm upset. Now, I'm talking about these things so we can have a conversation. As Doctor Who fans, we can come together and understand how bad these things are. No, for the people who come on here talking about too much politically correctness and wokeness and things like that, that argument can be shot down so easily. And basically, I know what you're trying to say. I understand you. I feel you. But all you're going to do is get smart asses twisting your words and trying to make you look like a racist or a sexist. Don't do it. Come on here and say your true feelings about how you feel about this show, how much you love this show. We all love Doctor Who. But we have seen a fandom come into this show, not because they love Doctor Who, not because they love sci-fi, because the Doctor is a woman. And they're going onto social media and saying how amazing this show is. And she's the easiest Doctor to kind of look to since they've been a fan. Well, that's interesting because you've only been a fan since the season 11 premiere. Now, you are welcome into this community, but coming in and watching something and pretending you like it because it ticks a box, because the Doctor is a woman, this Doctor has been handed a massive L. We have seen desperate attempts to try and fix this by the BBC. There was going to be a season 12 next year, 10 episodes. I said this in my video last night. But once they saw what Chris Chibnall did, the BBC had to act. They sacked him immediately. What does that mean? That means that his episode count has been cut to 6 episodes. We won't see those episodes till 2020. During the break, what the BBC will do, they will bring on a new showrunner. That new showrunner will cast a new Doctor. And I think that season 12 will air in April and season 13 will air in kind of September, October 2020 as well. So that's how I see it. Very quickly, the changes will be made. We'll have 2 seasons in 2020 to make up for the break. The BBC know the financial potential of this show, and it isn't being fulfilled. The merchandise is low. The sales of the merchandise is low. Don't give me that it was low with Capaldi as well. Maybe, but not on this level. The sales of pre-season sales of season 11 are embarrassingly low. The 13th Doctor doll sales increasingly low. Last year we had a fantastic season finale. What was it called? The Doctor Falls. It was a brilliant episode, right? Brilliant. We've had some great finales. Even the controversial one, even the season 8 finale when people were being buried alive or whatever it was. And by the way, I loved the season 8 finale. I thought it was great. The season 9 finale, I think is interesting. It was controversial because of the way they brought Clara back and, you know, just ignoring that the Doctor was back on Gallifrey after searching for it for 3 years. That was bad. But the actual episode wasn't bad, wasn't boring. It was still interesting. Things were happening. The Doctor was tested emotionally. But this Doctor hasn't really been tested at all. She just says things. She doesn't know very much. How many times have you heard her say this year, I don't know? Now, don't get me wrong. In all versions of the Doctor, he doesn't know sometimes, and that's okay. He likes to discover and learn new things. That's brilliant. And I respect that. But this Doctor is clueless. It's like Chris Chibnall is this sexist guy pretending to be woke, and he's gone, I know, I'll cast a female just to make her look fucking stupid. And this is what we had here. Ultimately, we had an emotional arc in this season finale for Graham, and we had nothing for this Doctor. And wherever you are in terms of a female Doctor and the way it's gone, you can't have empty storytelling. You can't just bring someone onto a show and say, right, we could just keep on saying first female Doctor and we'll get away with it. Sorry about that, frog in my throat. It must be Chris Chibnall again. This has been a very frustrating season for me and a lot of Doctor Who fans. Because in trying to discuss this season finale, I keep on going back to the show's major problems. Because there isn't much to talk about within that finale. Not very much happened. It looked beautiful. It sounded beautiful. But apart from Graham's arc and Tim Shaw talking, right? This was nothing. This was absolutely nothing. And I'm absolutely staggered by what I've seen in these 10 episodes. Staggered. I'm confident that Rosa will win many, many awards when awards season comes. But please don't come at me with, you see, it's won awards now. Whatever happened, this has been a bad season of Doctor Who. It has. Rosa was a good episode, but it wasn't a good episode of Doctor Who. There's a distinction there. And, it's, you know, when talking about Rosa, yes, I admired what they did with that episode too. But that wasn't an episode of Doctor Who. That was good TV. It wasn't good Doctor Who. We haven't had good Doctor Who for a very long time in the revival. All I can say to you is the BBC are hard at work to try and bring back this show to its heights. I hope they can find a showrunner who can do that. I suspect they may look to Hollywood now to find a good showrunner. Someone who does care about Doctor Who, who does understand about good storytelling. You'll probably bring someone from the States who's got experience on American television. That's what I suspect, and that's what I'm hearing on the grapevine. As for the Doctor, I don't know who they're going to go for. You know who I'd go for. I'd go for Jude Law. He'd do it. He's a fan. It'd be very special. I think we need something big now. We need a gift. The fans need a gift. Now, the New Year's Day special, which is called Resolution. Now, worst secret in Doctor Who history, actually, the worst secret in Doctor Who history was that we were only going to get 6 episodes in season 12 and we weren't going to see them to 2020. But this is the second worst secret. The Daleks will be around for the New Year's Day special, which is the only episode of Doctor Who we're going to see in 2019. So make a note of it. But, excuse me for talking about another episode on a finale video, because I don't have much else to say about this bloody finale. It was just bland and boring. I've seen a scene, right, and I don't know if it's a joke, I don't know what's going on, where Ryan has got Yaz pregnant. Yep. Now, it looks like some kind of dream, fantasy scene, and Ryan's talking to his dad and he's telling him, you can't desert her, you've done this, you've got to take responsibility, and Ryan's wearing this cap and he's got this couldn't give a shit expression. So obviously it's some fantasy thing and it's not real. But what kind of drugs is Chibnall on? This is absolutely ridiculous. And the only frustrating thing about it not being back to 2020 is we have to wait over a year for this shit show to be over. And it is a shit show. From me and my perspective, it is a shit show. This is a 4 out of 10 season finale. As I've said, this is the worst season finale in the revival's history. It was very boring. I was very disinterested, like I've been for the whole entire season. I'm sorry for Jodie Whittaker for a Chris Chibnall sexism, because he has treated you very differently to how he would have treated a male doctor. And I want you to think about this, Jodie, and I'll repeat myself again because it is important. Your male co-star got a better fleshing out than your character did. Remember that. Look at the fleshing out of 9. Look at the fleshing out of 10. Look at the fleshing out of 11. Look at the fleshing out of 12. He gave you nothing and gave Bradley Walsh, aka Graham, everything. Jodie, in turn, that is sexism. You should talk to Mr. Chibnall, if you're still talking to him, after you finish those 6 episodes, and ask him why you wasn't fleshed out, why he didn't develop your character. The evidence is there. And season 11, defenders can keep on throwing pie charts of the ratings at me. Ratings mean nothing. But when you have to compare your ratings to season 10, the worst rated season in the revival's history, you really are in trouble. Yes, Mr. TARDIS, I'm talking to you. Yes, fan who started comparing the American ratings with the season 10 ratings. The BBC America season 10 ratings with the BBC America season 11 ratings. When you have to do that to try and tell us, to try and disenfranchise us and make us look like we're not talking the truth. Look, the fandom split. The fandom split. It's as simple as that. And we're all sometimes saying things that are not true. One thing I will always say about me as a Doctor Who fan, I will always be honest with you. And I will shine a light on people who are being dishonest. And those people comparing season 11 to season 10 viewers are dishonest. It's as simple as that. So you can throw all the pie charts at me as you like. But this show wouldn't be delayed till 2020 and its episode list reduced if it was a success. This has been an absolute failure. Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who experiment has been an absolute failure. And this finale was the most disappointing episode of all because it was a finale and the stakes were minimal.